بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. وحمزة أين أنت يا حمزة؟ وجعفر أين أنت يا جعفر؟ Sayyida Zainab called out to her uncle Hamza, Sayyid al-Shuhada, and said to him, "Uncle, come and help Hussein." Ja'far and Tayyar, you fly in the heavens with your wings, come down to the earth and help Hussein. The Maqtal tells us, after the Dhuhr of Ashura, there remained no one in the tents of Sayyid al-Shuhada. Imam walked into the Maidan and looked at the bodies of his companions. He cried out in a painful voice, "Hal min nasirin yansurna, hal min mughithin yughithuna, hal min dhabbin yadhubbu an harami Rasulillah." Is there anyone to help us? Is there anyone who will defend the women of Rasulullah? At this time, Imam Sajjad called out to his aunt Zainab, and she said, "Auntie Zainab, give me my sword and give me my walking stick." Sayyida Zainab says, "Although the light of my eyes, ya qurrata aini wa thamarata fuadi," what do you want to do with the stick and with the sword? He says, "Auntie Zainab, with the sword I will defend my father. With the walking stick I will use it as support to stand up." And the traditions tell us that Imam Sajjad came to the door of the tent. When Sayyid al-Shuhada looked at him, he cried out, "Ya Kulthum, take Ali," yani Imam Zainul Abidin Sajjad, "take Ali back into the tents, lest the enemy sees him, and this world is left without anyone from the Nasl of Ala Muhammad." Kulthum and Sayyida Zainab take Imam Sajjad into the tent. Sayyid al-Shuhada comes in. He looks at Imam Sajjad, he kisses him on the forehead, and he tells him, "My son Ali, I give you my last will and the testimony that every Imam gives to his successor. The testimony that Rasulullah gave to my father Ali, the testimony that Ali gave to Hassan, and the testimony that my brother Hassan gave to me." Imam tells Imam Sajjad, "My son Ali, you have a long way ahead of you." But know, Ya Ali, that you are the pillar of faith and you are the final argument of God on earth. Imam Sajjad turned around to the women. He looked at Rabab. He says, "Rabab, you have seen so much today. You have seen the body of Ali Asghar. You have my body to see. For Rabab, keep strong. Rabab, give comfort to Layla." And Sayyida Zainab and Kulthum are standing. Imam bids each and every one of them farewell. And then he goes to his sister Zainab and kisses her on the forehead. He says, "Zainab, I leave you in charge of the Imam. Zainab, I'm leaving my children in your hands as a trust. Allah, Allah, Ya Sayyid al-Shuhada. Don't ask Zainab when it came to Sakina. Sayyid al-Shuhada asked for a case of older clothes to be brought to him. He wore one of his older shirts and one of his older pants, and he began to tear them to pieces, such that when he is tired, the enemies may not come and remove the clothes from his body. He wore the amama of Rasulullah. He took the Dhul Fikar in his hand, and he sat on his horse, the Dhul Jana. As he was preparing himself and adjusting his sword, he asked the horse, he said he signaled to the horse to move forward. The Dhul Jana would not move. But Sayyid al-Shuhada looked at the horse and he gently spoke in his ears, telling him, "O horse, I know that the whole day you have been going into the battlefield and coming back with dead bodies." He says, "O horse, I even know that you were thirsty. But O horse, this is the last time you will go into the battlefield." It is as if the horse looks at Hussein and says, "It is not me that does not want to move. It is someone who has held on to my leg." Allah, Sayyid al-Shuhada looks down and he sees this little girl, 4 years of age, holding on to the leg of Dhul Jana, saying, "Oh Dhul Jana, do not take my father to the battlefield. Oh Dhul Jana, everyone who has gone to the Maidan, no one has returned." He said, "Oh Dhul Jana, you took my uncle Abbas. My uncle Abbas didn't return." Sayyid al-Shuhada gets off his horse. He looks at Sayyida Ruqayya. He says to her, "Oh daughter, I'm only going to meet your uncle Abbas. How do you tell a 4-year-old child that you are going towards your death?" The traditions tell us that at this time Sakina asked her father, she said, "Father, if you were gone and you are with Uncle Abbas, on whose chest will I sleep at night?" She says, "Father, can you lie down on the sand so that I can lie down on your chest one last time?" The Maktal tells us Imam Hussein lay down on the burning sands of Karbala. He looked up at the heavens. Sakina put her head on his chest. Imam Sayyid al-Shuhada put his hand over the head of Sakina. He put his hand over her head just as you would put your hands over the head of a yatim. Allah, Allah, Sayyid al-Shuhada tells Sakina, "So Sakina, my daughter, go back to your auntie Zainab. From now it is as if Sayyid al-Shuhada said that Zainab is your mother and your father." Imam Sayyid al-Shuhada sits on the Dhul Jana, removes his Dhul Fikar. He looks in towards the ranks of the enemies. Wala hawla wala quwwata illa billah. The son of Haydar goes into the Maidan riding his Dhul Jana. The Maktal tells us that he attacked the right wing of the enemy, dismantling them. He attacked the left wing until he dispatched them. He went towards the archers who again within the center wing. Abdullah ibn Ammar says that wallahi, I have never seen a person who has been afflicted and seen the death of his brothers and the death of his sons and the death of his companions have courage to fight like this. Sayyid al-Shuhada attacked the archers, breaking their wings and breaking their ranks, forcing them to retreat, such that the Maktal tells us that some of the enemies trampled upon each other as Sayyid al-Shuhada made his way through the Maidan. 2 people reached the Furat, one of them being Abbas, and one of them being Sayyid al-Shuhada. Allah, Sayyid al-Shuhada gets towards the Furat. Shimar calls towards his army. He says, this is the son of the quarrelsome one, Yani Abu Turab. This is the son of the one who killed the Arabs and spilled their bloods. We shall not capture him like this. Go and attack the tents of the women of Rasulullah. Sayyid al-Shuhada is standing at Furat. Over here you have thousands of horsemen making their way towards the tent of the women. Sayyid al-Shuhada looks at them, he calls out to Shimar and his army saying, Ya Shi'at al Sufyan, in lam yakun lakum deen, wa la takhafuna min ma'ad, fakunu ahraran fi dunyakum. Sayyid al-Shuhada says to them, O followers, O Shias of Abu Sufyan, if you do not have a religion and you do not fear the akhirah, then at least be free men in the dunya, at least be men of honor. This is a battle between the men. Why do you attack the women while I'm still alive? For Shimar looked at him. They attracted, or they pointed the direction of their army towards Sayyid al-Shuhada, while another part of the army went on to attack the tents. When Sayyid al-Shuhada saw that they're going towards the tents, he rode his horse through them with the Dhulfiqar. The Maktal tells us that there wasn't a single horseman in the way of Sayyid al-Shuhada except that he killed him until he went back to the tent for the last time to secure their safety. At this time, Sayyid al-Shuhada bids farewell for a second time to the ladies. He goes to Sayyida Zainab and he says, get ready for the musibah and the bala that are going to fall upon you. These are my last words to you. He sees his daughter Sukaina sitting separately from the rest of the women. Her head is on her knees. She's folded her hands and she's weeping. Sayyid al-Shuhada goes to Sukaina. He says, Sukaina, this is my last farewell and I will meet you at the pond of Kawthar. Sukaina, if you see my body covered in blood, cut into pieces, then Sukaina have sabr. Allah, Allah. While Sayyid al-Shuhada was comforting the women, Shimar says, oh people, if Hussein comes back into the battlefield in the frame of mind of war, we will not be able to take control over him. We will not be able to defeat him. Attack while he's busy with the women. The Maktal tells us that the people started to shoot arrows towards the tents of Rasulullah while the women are inside. The extent that one of the arrows pierced through the hijab of the women. When Sayyid al-Shuhada saw this, the women started crying out of fear, panicking and running between the tents. At this time, Sayyid al-Shuhada could not handle it. The Maktal tells us, فَحَمَلُوا عَلَيْهِمْ كَلَيْثٍ غَضْبَانٍ. Sayyid al-Shuhada attacked them like a raging lion, killing everyone on his way until he reached the middle of the Maidan. Allah, Allah, Sayyid al-Shuhada in the Maidan. Shimar says, arrange the 30,000 cavalry and attack your arrows towards Hussein. The Maktal tells us that 4,000 archers began to shoot the arrows towards Sayyid al-Shuhada. Allah, Allah, from these 4,000 arrows, the Maktal tells us that one arrow pierced the forehead of Sayyid al-Shuhada. Blood started to drip down the face of Imam. The Maktal tells us that Sayyid al-Shuhada with one hand held his forehead, with the other hand he said, Bismillah wa billah. He pulled out the arrow from his forehead. The blood continues to roll down his chest. At this time, while the Imam was removing his arrow, one from the enemies came. I don't know, Ya Shia, how you will hear this, but they threw a stone that hit the side of the Imam's head. Imam began to wipe the blood that was flowing over his eyes with the sleeves of his shirt. All this time saying, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. The enemies begin to tighten their siege around Sayyid al-Shuhada. From the arrows that were shot at him, the Maktal tells us that one person from the enemies shot a 3-pronged arrow that hit the chest of Sayyid al-Shuhada. الشهداء. They say that the chest penetrated, the arrow penetrated the chest of Imam Hussein, and a part of the spike came out from the side of his back. Allah, Allah, the Maqtal tells us that Sayyid al-Shuhada pulled out this arrow from his chest. The blood began to gush in every direction. At this time, Sayyid al-Shuhada took a part of the blood in his hands and he threw it up towards the sky. Just like the blood of Ali al-Asghar, not a single drop of blood fell back to the ground. And then he put his hands under his chest. The blood filled his hand for a second time. Do you know what Sayyid al-Shuhada did? The Maqtal tells us Sayyid al-Shuhada wiped his head and his face with this blood. He wiped his beard with the blood, saying, Ya Allah, hakada al-taki or hakada al-kalla yawm al-qiyamah wa al-kajaddi Rasulullah wa ashtaki indahu katalani fulan wa fulan. The Maqtal tells us Sayyid al-Shuhada wiped his face and his beard and his hand with his own blood, and he said, this is how I will be raised on the day of judgment in front of Allah. This is how I will go to Rasulullah and tell him that this is how your ummah treated me after your death. The Maqtal tells us at this time Sayyid al-Shuhada had lost a lot of blood, and one of the people from the army of Shimr came, his name called Nafi al-La'in. He struck Sayyid al-Shuhada with a sword on his forehead. Imam Hussein falls down from his horse. At this time, the women and the children are watching from the tents. There was one son of Imam Hassan, the younger son of Qasim, called Abdullah, 11 years old. When he saw this, he could not handle it. He ran away. Sayyidah Zainab ran behind him, trying to hold him, saying, Ya Bunayya Abdullah, ilahi. She says, oh my son Abdullah, where are you going? This son Abdullah runs into the battlefield, running towards Imam Hussein, calling out to Shimr and saying, oh enemy, what are you doing to my uncle? The Maqtal tells us this 11-year-old child threw himself onto the chest of Imam Hussein. At this time, one of the enemies from the army of Shimr wanted to strike Sayyid al-Shuhada with a sword. This young child put his hand on the way. The enemy severed the hand of Abdullah ibn Hassan. The Maqtal tells us that the left arm of Abdullah was hanging by its skin. Sayyid al-Shuhada takes this young child on his chest and pats his head and tells him, have sabr, O children of Hassan. Very soon we are going to meet with your father and complain to them against these enemies. The child dies on the chest or on the laps of Imam Hussein. Allah, Allah, Sayyid al-Shuhada turns his face. His cheeks are mixed with the sand of Karbala. On the corner of his eye, he can look at Zainab. Zainab is standing at the till. At this time, one of the persons from the enemy comes. I will not mention to you what they did at the Maqtal, but suffices it that one of the persons came and they stabbed Sayyid al-Shuhada with a spear in his torso. Another person came and stabbed Sayyid al-Shuhada with a sword on the side of his shoulder. Allah, Allah, the enemies were riding their horses around the body of Sayyid al-Shuhada, each one taking a turn to stab and pierce the body of Imam. Ya Shi'at Amir al-Mu'mineen. Shimr comes down. Shimr comes down. The Maqtal tells us, فَرَفَسَا صَدْرَ الْإِمَامَ بِبِرِجْلِهِ. Shimr comes and kicks the chest تبع حسين